Yeah, Jim Snyder from ISOL. And my question is for David and Stephen on the implications of cloud computing for open government. So this is one of the big things we read about constantly in the tech press and at the highest level at the White House, that this is a paradigm change. What we talk about generally with the cloud computing is it's going to dramatically lower the cost of IT and result in all sorts of new services and maybe more standards, which that's an open government theme. But what are the implications? I think this is a very important technology that's going to completely change the possibilities for open government. And one of the most important areas is with conflicts of interest management, where agencies have always been able to create and control the records. Suddenly, at the point of creation, it can go directly to the National Archives. Forget about this two-step process. You become part of, and take it out of the hands of the agencies. So avoid all this high-value data sets, because from the moment it's created, it's going into the National Archives or some other deposit and it's standard. So it has profound implications for the whole notion of public equals online, you know, the next step. Right. So how can we do this if you think, you know, it's an important technology for open government?
Thanks, Tim.
I certainly agree with you. In fact, my conversation, I have breakfast with Vivek Kundra about once a month, and a lot of our conversations are around the potential of cloud computing. It's clear to me that the National Archives needs to be much more involved at the creation point than we are right now. And one of the ways of doing that is ensuring that the folks in the agencies have the appropriate training and support in order to do the work that they're doing. But cloud computing is already, we're experimenting with it already. It is the solution to our storage problem. You know, I'm looking at terabytes and terabytes of content that we're going to be responsible for, and cloud computing is the only way that we're going to be able to provide for the future.
I'll just respond to a piece of your question, which is to put in you mentioned IT and IT spending. There's a great, if you haven't seen it, whiteboard entry as part of the White House blog on the Sunshine Week series of Vivek explaining some of the savings there, which I recommend to you. It's fun. It's a fun one.
And I think you wanted to ask Gary a question in
yes,
the last minute or so remaining.
Yes, Gary confessed, as he should, that his job is to advocate for more, and that is an appropriate, obviously a crucial role in our system. OMB Watch has issued a report about the administration's FOIA record this past year, and so far I just want to put in a pitch for his report. It hasn't gotten the attention that I think it deserves, and it vindicates many of the findings that I very quickly reported. So I wanted to give Gary the opportunity, if he's interested in highlighting some of OMB Watch's findings about our FOIA successes over the past year.
Well, it's always nice to get referred to a report that applauds the administration, isn't it? Actually, the report does, it's both a pat on the back and then a kick in the shin. The pat on the back is that it appears that 2010 is a turning point in terms of openness indicators under FOIA. The kick in the shin is we have a long way to go. We're not even back to the level of the Bush administration, and the Bush administration was a period of what I would consider intense secrecy. So I think we have a long way to go, but you deserve enormous, you meaning not only Steve, but you, David, you, the administration, deserve a pat on the back for doing good work on this.
Christine, we have one more question in the audience over here. And then we... Yeah. Excuse me.
I'm John Sheldon from HRI. It's wonderful for you to be trying to open the tap a little wider on the delivery system, but we really have a lack of pressure. One of the problems is how information is created, and fundamentally we have the same infrastructure problem we see with transportation. The building blocks, the case management systems of all the line agencies have been underfunded for decades. We've seen massive amounts of money go into Homeland Security to improve systems. But if we look in the prime regulatory programs of EPA, DOT, and others, we have a morass of systems that don't talk to each other, that aren't organized. And I hear that many of these agencies are being instructed to reduce their budget requests by 10 to 15%, EPA in particular. How can you turn this around? How can we better build the systems to create and deliver the information we want, instead of pushing against these agencies to actually cut back the information that's being produced?
In 30 seconds. What, anybody?
Well, there's no short answer to your question. Collaboration is one of the legs of the open government stool, and the agencies and the administration have worked to enlist the best expertise wherever we can find it, the greatest amount of energy wherever we can find it. There's no short answer to your question, but agencies are doing more, as I say, to improve their information and openness architecture. And I could direct you to